Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Lokalfeed show. My name is Azura, and our guest today is Nurshahidah, also known as the Sniper, Singapore's very own professional female boxer. Boxing to her is more than just a sport or a passion. On this episode, we talk about fighting through the struggles of being a professional boxer, building boxing within the community of women, and a recent secret on what's helping her with her footwork. Before we get to it, if you want to support us, there are a few ways you can do so. Share an episode with your friends, subscribe to our YouTube, Spotify and iTunes. If this is not your first episode, we truly appreciate you taking the time to listen to these amazing stories. So without further ado, remember, be bold and stay inspired. Here is Nurshahidah, the Sniper.
Share a bit about your journey, as in, I know you've said this a lot of times, but when do you start? Why do you suddenly have why boxing?
I actually started picking up martial arts since I was in mid-secondary school.
Okay.
And that was taekwondo.
Oh, okay.
And then I find it was a bit stagnant because I like challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I like to challenge myself further. I want to be in school team, national team, that sort of I like that sort of feeling.
Okay.
You know, when you fight or rather represent something.
Okay.
And I find that there's no progression.
Okay. For taekwondo?
For taekwondo, yeah.
Okay.
Belt, not enough for me. I want more, you know. And there are higher belt levels in taekwondo, but I find that it's very stagnant. It's just belt to me.
Okay.
I want to be able to prove a point, do more myself.
Okay.
So in ITE, I have a coaching project, and I thought that was a very good opportunity to try a new sport.
Okay.
And that was when I picked up boxing/kickboxing from my then coach.
Okay.
It was all part of a project where I'm supposed to review a coach based on the theory that I learned, review the coach and see how he's like, stuff like that.
So so what were you studying in ITE that requires you to do reviewing of coaches and stuff?
Sport management.
Okay.
So I started off there. And it was a 2 years course, and I did that project in my second year.
Okay.
Yeah, so at that point I was about 18 years old or so.
Okay.
I fell in love with it.
Okay.
To me, there's no belt system, but I feel that I progressed every lesson.
Okay.
And there are competitions. So 2 years later, after I trained, that was my first fight.
Okay.
Boxing and kickboxing back to back. This week was boxing, the next week was actually kickboxing.
Okay.
I managed to kind of evaluate what I prefer, and I prefer boxing.
Okay.
And then I had opportunities coming in, like representing Singapore and things like that. So I get hooked onto it. After some time, because the boxing scene in Singapore is so small at that point in time, I didn't have much fights. You know?
This was back in 2006?
That would be in about 2006.
Okay.
I started training in 2006. My first fight was in 2008.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to ask, why does it take that long? Is it because of the training, or because there's not enough opponents, or back then it
not
wasn't
enough
that?
opponent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so happened that particular year, like back to back, you know. Yeah, so I was just lucky.
Okay.
And that was in 2006, 2008.
Okay.
I think when I was first representing Singapore, that was in 2009. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2009. And then from there I was on and off, representing Singapore, internally as well. In Singapore, there's so few female boxers, amateur. So
Can you
I can count with my fingers from 2008 all the way to 2015 how many amateur fights I have. I can actually count with two hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how little my fight was. I turned professional after the 2015 SEA Games.
Okay.
Because I realized I'm waiting for nothing.
Okay.
I'm training, and I just finished my degree at that point in time.
Okay.
I went like, you know what? Let's just do this. I'm just gonna turn professional and see how it goes. You know, and so I did. My coach got me a fight. Within 2 weeks after I told him, you know what, I want to turn pro, and he said, okay. He got me a fight.
Okay.
And from 2016, early 2016 when I started up till now, I already have 10 fights.
Okay.
And that is a lot more that I could say than my amateur fight.
Okay.
So,
I mean, why the kind of discrepancies in that sense? Why does amateur fights you won't get enough fights? Why do professional fights get more?
alright, in amateur, you go for tournaments.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are bounded by the NSAs.
Okay.
Budget, everything comes into play.
Okay.
You know, and you're not given that opportunity to compete. Nowadays in Singapore, for amateur boxing scene is a lot bigger.
Okay.
There are a lot more ladies participating now, so I might be luckier if that is the scene
Right, back then. Okay.
but not really.
Okay.
But for pros, your matchmaker or your promoter, your manager, find the opponents for you.
Okay. So they got to keep on looking for.
They will,
opponents for you. Okay.
and they will match you up accordingly.
Okay.
You know, and when they take up the fight, you just go fight, and that's it. And it's more straightforward because you're not governed. At this point in time, you're not really governed by an NSA.
Okay.
Budget is not a major factor because promoter pays for it. Means they are running an event, and when they run an event, they have funds. So they are supposed to pay for us to fight, and we get paid as well to fight. So a lot easier in that sense.
Okay, I'm going to take you back a bit, okay? Because you mentioned something about budget, NSAs, amateur fights. I mean, I understand because there's certain restrictions, and pro will depend on your match, your promoters.
The matchmaker promoters, yeah.
Okay. So, because right now you're a professional professional boxer, right? So how do you have to still source your own funds? Because I mean, being a professional athlete, you have to focus 24/7 in a sense as a boxer, right? There's no, how do you do it? Or is there any side gig that you do and stuff?
Depends on the athlete.
Okay.
I am luckier because I've got Arvin, my coach, my head coach, as well as my promoter and manager. He manages everything else behind the scene.
Okay.
My job is very clear cut. I train and I fight.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that sense, I don't really have to look for my own funds. He will help me out with that if there is a need.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so far, I mean, because I don't know, because mostly like professional athletes, they look for endorsements, sponsorship and stuff like that. I mean, because at the end of the day, it is going to be your livelihood in that sense, right? It's going to be your bread and butter, right? So especially in places like Singapore, it's not very easy. I mean, it's not. You still have to pay the bills, kind of, right? So so are there any side gigs or your?
To be very honest, we actually need, and I actually need some endorsements and sponsorships and whatever not. But it is very hard to find one, and I'm still relying on my manager to help me out with that.
Okay.
Yes, which he is actually trying very hard to, but it's very hard to get a company who is willing to do that. I mean, Singapore is still Singapore. It's really hard to find companies who willingly sponsor athletes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because you've had like opponents around Asia and stuff like that, right? Do they have the same problems? Do you know, or probably it's I think or across the board it's harder for women, or it's just Asia in that sense that or Singapore?
It is actually harder for women. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. But as an athlete, I would say in Singapore, being an athlete, that's the main problem. It is a chicken and egg thing, you know. Companies will not sponsor unless it benefits them
Correct.
as well. And to
Okay.
benefit them, people have to be interested.
Correct.
And people are not interested in sports and arts in Singapore.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
the main issue.
Yeah.
If people are more engaged in sports and the arts, I think it makes our so-called struggles much easier. Yeah, we don't have to struggle so much because with that, the companies are more willing to sponsor.
That's true. That's true. I mean, because you actually mentioned the athletes, because I'm an athlete myself, so I know that during the years that I've trained, right, we're not paid to train. We love to do what we do because we love it, right? I mean, yeah, it's hard. I mean, I think in general it's athletes in that sense in Singapore.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand. Moving forward a bit, because you mentioned what's that? You mentioned Arvin, right?
Yeah.
So he is Juggernaut Fight Club.
Yep.
Correct. So and then the studio, because we're at the Juggernaut studio, right? So
Yes.
what do you do here? You run classes and stuff like that? What's your
Okay, Juggernaut Studio was built upon the idea that women can get pretty intimidated with the idea of combat sports, fight sports, you know. And I want to bring a proper fight sports into their lives without them feeling a bit out of place, intimidated, because it's a so-called violent sport. It is actually not a violent sport. It's a very technical, a beautiful sport if you get to know the right people to teach you.
Okay.
Yeah. There are a lot of other types of classes out there as well, like piloxing and all, which took away that traditional teachings of boxing or kickboxing per se. So I'm bringing back that technicality and make it a bit more fun and appealing for the ladies. That was how Juggernaut Studio was built on the idea, the fundamentals. But of course we are open to guys as well. But my focus is to get ladies exposed to the sport as it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen a number of ladies more interested in like combat sports or more into, because previously you mentioned that there are more ladies in the amateur fights, right?
Yes.
So what do you think? I mean, what attracts women nowadays to take that up in that sense? Do you?
There is a lot of factors, you know, and I think one of the factors is that women are looking for more ways to lose weight. And then there are more articles coming up with boxing and kickboxing is the one of the ways, fun ways to lose weight and all that, and they don't know how to pick, you know. And then when it comes to a traditional fight club or when they see traditional boxing, kickboxing, they get intimidated. It's like, is that how they kick? It's so hard and so tough and all that, you know. So when they come in here, it look tough and hard. But when they see all ladies or mostly ladies doing it, you have a female instructor, they feel a bit more at ease. And then when you teach them the techniques, and then when they are able to do it, because women are generally very technical. So when they see that, oh, I can do it and it's fun and they like it, they keep going, you know, they keep doing it. And then before you know it, they get better at in whatever they do. And then that's when they feel like the need to challenge themselves. I think most of the amateur boxers, that's how they started as well. They want to lose weight. And then they find that, oh, I can do this and I want more out of it. And then they go into recreational boxing tournaments, you know, and then they get better, they join the national team. And some may even want to pursue further and do it professionally. Yeah.
So you mentioned professional boxers, right? You are the first one. Do you know any other female professional boxers that from amateur turns? Okay, sorry. Before I just want to take a step back. Before you, is there a kind of a requirement for you to from amateur fighter to pro fighter? Is there, you need to fight how many fights before you actually turn pro, or it's just whenever you feel that you are good to go, you're good to go?
There's no prerequisite actually, and it's up to individual. There are some professionals who have not had any fights in their life, just turn pro.
Wow, okay.
There are more experienced amateur boxers who turn pro. And it's actually a very different ball game, in both the leagues. Amateur usually is in a form of tournament, and it's for ladies, 2 minutes, 4 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah. Professional though, you only fight most of it, unless it's a special kind of arrangement. Most of it is like one fight a night, and you can fight ranging from 4 rounds all the way to 10 to 12.
Wow,
My
okay.
most is 10 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's 2 minutes still.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I mentioned just now as well, amateur tournament format, you don't really get to choose your opponent, and if your draw is against you, that's it. You know, it's bad luck for you. Too bad. But for professional, you get to meet whoever your promoter or manager match up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so then for professional, let's say amateur boxers, right? Do you have anything like a word of advice to like for ladies out there who wants to actually be a professional boxer? As in, what are the struggles? You know, I mean, there will always be struggles in order for us to be where we are today, right? In that sense, where you are today, right? So, what I don't know, what advice can you give the ladies, or would you say to the ladies out there who wants to do it but they are, you know, they're afraid to do it, or there's something that's stopping them?
I won't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, of course.
Them.
No, I mean, go.
Yeah, it is actually very tough because first of all, in Singapore, you won't get much support.
Okay.
You really need to struggle a lot just to get people to look at you in a different light.
Okay.
Some may even find you violent and may not even want to come close to you,
Okay.
which is not the case.
Okay.
You know, so it's really hard work. You cannot expect to be paid. That's one thing, and you cannot expect fame and whatever not. In boxing, the first thing first is you need to have a passion. You need to really love the sport for the sport itself, and you shouldn't have anything else at the back of your mind. If you have plans to turn professional because you want to get paid to do something you like, then that is not a very right mindset to go about. I do it for personal reasons, that it gives me satisfaction knowing that this is my job, and I use it as a platform to build boxing among the women in the women community, and that's what keeps me going. So when I get paid at every fight, I just thank God. No, this is what I have. This is what I can spend. Yeah. Don't expect to get paid highly. Yeah.
It's gonna be. I mean, I guess it's gonna be a long struggle in that sense.
Yes.
But I mean, anything that's worth doing is gonna be a struggle, right? At the end.
Correct. So it's not just for women who want to pick up boxing professionally. I think it's across any career for that sense. You know, you have to love it for one. If you're just in it for the money, then you will not last long. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, lah. It's really
Yeah.
true, because passion can only last so much. You got to.
Yes, true.
What do you see yourself doing in 2 to 3 years? Are you still? I mean, how long are you planning to be a professional boxer in that sense, or come what may, or what's your
It is actually come what may. But for me, luckily for me, I already have a studio. So once I'm done with being a professional boxer, I'll be here teaching.
Okay.
And that will be my job. Yeah. So in 4 or 5 years time, I still see myself boxing. Hopefully.
Okay.
If I'm not touch wood, if I'm not injured or anything like that, I'll still be boxing.
Okay,
Yes.
because you mentioned earlier that you're very kind of like driven and competitive in that sense.
Yes.
So because athletes are like that, right? They say they want to hang their boots, they want to hang their gloves, but then they still, you know, if they still have fight in them, they will still continue.
Yeah,
to go.
correct. There are a few times in my life I almost hang my glove. You know, or I said, oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on a full-time job. When I was a lecturer, I will almost hang my gloves, and then somehow I just pick it up again. So you can never really let go. Yes, and I think my family saw that struggle through my years having a full-time job. I'm still boxing. I still love it. You know. And they realize, you know what, there's no stopping me. You might as well just bless me and just be safe. Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned your family. How is support? As in, support is very important in that sense, because you know, being a boxer is not easy, right? I mean, you have your injuries. A lot of things. Your support system.
that is also very, very important actually. That's how I survive being a professional athlete.
Okay.
Family. I don't, like we all know by now, I don't get paid a lot. So I depend on my family to understand and help me out here and there, which fortunately for me, my parents do. Well, I mentioned just now my mom. But my parents don't really. They want me to focus on a full-time career. You know, get a
like
real
any
full-time
Asian
job.
like any
Yeah.
parents, right? Yeah.
Most of it is my mom lah.
Okay.
My dad just goes with the flow. So after some time, she sees that this is meant for me. She really can't control it anymore. I'm still in it. She's more supportive now. Yeah, especially when I have my fight coming. If I need food or whatever I need, she's there to provide. Yeah. So I have like 110% of my family's support. Like when I went to Brisbane, my sister actually saved up her own money from work and traveled with me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's really very touching. And then my parents gave us pocket money, both of us.
Okay.
I was like, so that kind of support is really very important. Yeah, for me, I would say I'm actually very fortunate. If I had been in other families who is not very well off, I would say who's struggling, I don't think so I'll make it this far as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then family support kind of like, the support kind of keeps you sane in that sense, because I'm sure you have bad days.
Yes,
right?
of course, yes.
Okay, getting into that, how do you get through those bad days? I mean, injuries and when your body is exhausted, and then you train every day, right?
Almost every day, yes, especially when a fight is coming.
How do you get through the negative vibes, the bad days?
That is actually very hard to answer because I just do. I think I just get you just get a hang of it, and you just go in there. If you have your bad day, you don't perform, you sulk for I don't know for how long. You go home, you sleep it off. Next morning, you can either sulk some more or you feel more motivated.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel better. I feel like, okay, yesterday was a bad day, today is going to be a better day.
Okay.
And then after that, when you go to training, it depends, how your body wants to react. Sometimes I come in motivated, I'm not performing, I go back upset.
Okay.
But then I just try again. I try again. And that's part and parcel of my life already. So, yeah, so that's how it is. You will mostly go home with disappointment with yourself that you can't perform today. And you expect yourself to perform better than yesterday. So that's part and parcel of it. Just how you manage,
Just how you got it, just keep
Yeah.
on going, right? So mental strength is important in the sense, right?
Very, very important. And as my coach said it himself, I have my mental game is not that strong.
Okay.
But I think right after my recent match, I think I'm at a different zone now.
Okay.
I'm a lot more motivated, even hungrier to go back into the ring. Yeah, so I guess experiences plays a part as well. And I think I've passed that point of mental barrier. I have that one mental barrier where I believe that maybe I cannot do it, maybe I cannot. I have a lot of self-doubt.
Okay.
But I guess now that is cleared. Yeah, for some reason it's lifted off and I feel hungry, I want to go in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the recent fight was in Brisbane.
Brisbane, yeah.
Okay. So how did that go for you? Because you mentioned that kind of a different level with your mental strength in that sense, right? So how did that go for you? Why the
Right. Okay, I went in with a mindset that I'm prepared and I have it, and for some reason it's a very different feeling I've got. I was confident, nervous, but very controlled.
Okay.
When I was in the ring, I was calm.
Okay.
I got most of the things that my coaches taught me done, and I thought it was a pretty good fight on my standpoint. But of course, the judges don't see it that way, and maybe I don't know, maybe something is lacking in me that they don't really like. So the judges gave the decision to my opponent instead after 10 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, so I lost in that sense. But I have this feeling in me whereby I deserve better, and I don't think so I've lost that fight. But as an athlete, I think I have to respect the judge's decision. Next way to go is for rematch, train hard, learn my lesson not to let it go the whole way and leave it in the judge's hands. So next time around it's gonna be a lot different. So I guess that's how I actually broke my mental barrier right there, because I know I lasted 10 rounds. I gave my best, and it was the best fight I've ever had. And my coach was happy with me, and he sees that I can do even better, and that gave me the confidence that in the future the fights will be a lot better.
Okay, so right now your record is eight wins, and
I would guess as much eight wins, 2 losses.
But I mean, I guess it's the journey that sometimes even when you lose, when you know that you played the best and stuff like that, you know it and you feel it, and you're like, okay, come on, that's the next one, right?
It's a very complicated feeling actually to feel like you win, and to feel that feeling that you lost is very complicated. And that's the first time I'm feeling it. Yeah. So to me, I'm just looking forward to the next fight already.
Awesome. But you wouldn't know when the next fight is. Probably with her or not? Don't know. Depends.
No idea.
Come at me, right? Yes. Okay. Talking about that, right? Because there's a lot of who is your inspiration in the boxing scene? Any female boxers that you look up to in a sense, or kind of inspire you, or you just like?
As in fight style wise, I really like Nurshahidah. She was a old time boxer. I think she didn't really announce her retirement, but she's no longer very active in the ring. Love her power, love her style, and that's about it. Other than that, I think I don't really have a so-called idol for female boxing.
But any other idols? I mean, someone that you inspire you in that sense, not boxers or something.
Not really. I think I only have my coach to motivate me to just keep going in this industry, in the boxing ring. But other than that, no, not really.
What is your most humbling experience?
Wow, that has to be the previous fight as well.
The previous fight, Why?
Like I said, I think this particular fight that I lost shaped me a lot as an athlete, as a person. Back then when I lost, it was a lot of shame going on, because I was like the first Singapore female boxer, things like that. I was a champ, and then I have to deal with a loss. I couldn't really get that emotions settled. The shame, the guilt, whatever that is.
Denial and stuff like that.
Denial, everything. Looking for things to blame. Even myself, but I'm still like looking for things to blame. What went wrong? Blame this, blame that. But I think this fight humbles me a lot, because I know I won. I know I gave my best. My coach, everyone said I got that fight. But the decision is against me. But for some reason, I took that in a different light. I was like put down back to earth. Look at perspective that it's like a stepping stone for me to improve myself even more. That this loss is gonna make me stronger, in a sense that it makes me hungrier. To deal with whatever I have to compete even further, try to go for a world title, things like that. And for some reason, I don't even have to think about shame or anything. And I don't even blame the judges. Matter of fact, I blame myself for not finishing the fight. And then now I know what to do. So in that sense, it's the most humbling experience. I really enjoyed it. Yes, I am upset, but I'm looking forward to a great comeback.
So the last fight really unlocked a lot of
A
things.
lot of things, yes.
Yeah, because it sounds like it, like
Yeah.
you've learned so much more the last
Yes,
fight.
that's right.
Okay. What is something that you're most proud of that people don't know?
Most proud of that
Yes.
people don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I even
Really?
know.
So that you're most
Yes,
proud of your journey as I don't know, as an athlete, as a coach, as a teacher, as an individual. Something that you're most proud of that people don't. You don't say it.
Oh, wow! This is the toughest question of the day, right? Because I really, No, not really. But while I'm in this zone right now, all I can feel is every time my parents have my back, I feel proud of myself.
Okay.
If my head coach, like Alvin, all this while, even if I win a belt, he can make it feel like I lost a fight. Like he can really make you feel like that. But this time round, I may have lost the fight, but I'm really proud of myself because for once he's not angry with me.
Okay.
Yes, I guess that's how I can get that feeling out lah. I guess when someone else assure me that they're proud of me, then I'm proud of myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm curious. Are you, when you go into a fight, you're not only fighting for yourself, right? You're fighting for the people that who has believed in you from the very beginning, or who has been there for you and stuff like that, right?
True.
So I guess that's the moment of like, right?
Yes, that's right. And people that matters are the ones that really make you feel how you really feel. Like for me, the first one is of course my coach. So when he is angry, even though I won a fight, to me I feel like a loss. And if my parents are proud of me for what I've achieved, and I'm proud of my achievements. Yes, I'm doing it for myself, some selfish reasons, so be it. But people close to me shape how I feel about what I achieve. Yeah. So in that sense, you nailed that. You nailed it.
Yeah, it's can feel that you're very heart person.
Yeah.
Person. Not HARD, but
Yeah,
more
I am
heart
actually,
person.
yes.
Okay, this is going to be a bit hard also, but I don't know lah. Okay. What is your definition of legacy?
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I guess my definition of legacy is not really what you achieve, but how you make use of what you have achieved. Like for me, I'm not going to leave a legacy because I am a professional women boxer. I use that as a platform to make a legacy out of myself. So I know that I'm a professional women boxer, so people will come to me to want to learn and all that. And I guess my legacy will start once I start imparting knowledge. When I know, because of what I taught, a person is a much better person than he was yesterday. And example, if let's say one day I have a troubled teenager coming into my gym, very troubled one, learned boxing, became a better person, I think in that sense I've left a legacy behind. So that is the most important thing for me, and that is, to me, that is how I define legacy.
It's your passion to give back also, right?
Yes.
I mean, you've gathered so much knowledge and things that people have passed on to you, so you want to pass it on to someone else in that sense, for them to be a better version of themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
That's beautiful. Okay, 5 seconds fun. Okay, so this one is you have to, we're almost ending.
Okay.
So at the top of your head, okay, if I ask you this question at the top of your head, what is the first thought that comes up?
Wow, okay, I'm actually very slow. Okay.
Okay, it's going to be simple. It's going to be something, okay. It can be anything, okay? It doesn't really only have to do with boxing, okay?
Yeah.
What is the craziest thing that you would do, that you want to do at the top of your head? Please don't say boxing.
Dance.
Dance?
Yeah.
Really? What kind of dance?
I do Latin dance at the moment as well.
Wow.
So yeah, I really want to. And once again, as someone being very competitive,
Okay.
I do want to compete as well.
Oh my god, Latin dance boxer / lesson. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you take lessons to do Latin?
Yeah, I take lessons to do Latin, classic Latin like cha-cha, rumba.
Wow. Why Latin though? I mean, it's very interesting. As in,
I've always wanted to do like ballroom kind of dance, like more formal dance.
Okay.
But then I have a friend,
Okay.
a very close friend who does Latin dancing, and I saw it, was like, it's actually pretty nice, pretty cool.
Okay.
And I saw how the footwork works, the hip movements, and I thought, you know what, that can help me in my my boxing as well.
Right, that's okay.
And then I picked it up.
Okay.
And as I picked it up, I was like, oh, geez, I need to compete now. I need to know where I'm at. Like, okay, yeah.
Okay, how long have you been taking lessons?
I think more than a year now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
more than a year. I started with salsa first, and then
Okay.
same thing. I wanted more out of it. I want to compete, right? But then the progression wasn't there. I
Okay.
don't see opportunities.
Okay.
And then I went into more serious Latin. That is the samba,
Okay.
rumba, and then I feel like, okay, maybe I can after 2 more years. And yeah, I'm gonna train until I'm at a level enough to win.
Okay.
Not just to compete for the sake of competing. That's not my style.
True athlete lah. This one, true athlete.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. It's I mean, because you mentioned Latin dancing, right? And boxing is seen as not such a feminine sport. I mean, you know what I mean, right? It's
Yes,
slightly
yes,
a
yes.
more men's sport, and then you do Latin dancing. That's very interesting. I mean, people need to see that boxing is not just it is not just men's sport. It is a sport for everyone. in
Yeah,
that sense.
correct,
Every sport is for
correct.
everyone, right?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
very
right.
interesting.
But I think there are people who associate boxing
Mm-hmm.
to a very masculine and violent sport. That's one that I'm trying to change.
Okay.
That perception is not. It's really not. Yeah.
It's not that easy, yes. But hey, Latin dancing. One day we should
Yeah.
invite us to your Latin dancing competition.
So you guys dance generally?
Sorry?
You can dance generally?
No, I can't.
Wow.
I actually have to learn. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
My instructor is really good.
Okay.
He start me off from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Calling for me. I cannot dance. So maybe.
No, but she's a boxer. She needs footwork and stuff. It's kind of right.
Ah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
that's
Speed, the speed and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's somewhat can relate in that sense, right? Kind of.
Not. It's not like word for word kind of thing, but
Might help.
might help. Can help. Yes, can help.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing
It's my
this.
pleasure actually.
Okay, how can we support you? As in that sense, your social media. What's your social medias?
Okay. Nurshahidah the Sniper Rosely is on the Facebook page.
Okay.
That one, Avi manages most of them.
Okay.
He's been bugging me to like update. See, I'm not a very social media
Okay.
kind of person.
Okay.
Like to me, I was like, why in the world would you want to update me? You know. So I'm not very, in that sense, very bad. I need to change, but I'm trying slowly.
Yes,
slowly.
you will eventually.
Yeah.
Your Instagram?
Instagram is no sniper. I think she just added me just now.
No.
I added you back already.
So no sniper,
No sniper, yeah.
and you are SNIP. I will probably bring up the details at the end. And Juggernaut Studio.
Juggernaut Studio has a page as well.
Okay.
And website and Insta. Yeah. Once my dad retires fully, I think in August he should come in full time. He will be managing most of the social media stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be better. I suck at it.
Okay. Yeah.
He married young. He got me when he was young. So he's only level 54. So 5, 6. Yeah, about that. 1965. So I think it's about what, 53. Yeah.
Around.
Yeah. I don't even know my dad.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Okay. Thank you so much
No
for
problem,
doing
no
this. Really appreciate it.